Hi, I'm Steve Stewart. This is my web address that you see across the bottom of the screen. If you would please go there, have a look around. There's an email link on every page, so when you get there, have a look around and let me know what you think. A couple of weeks ago, I was having lunch with some friends, and they were kind enough to ask about what I'm doing and how it's going and such. And I explained that one of the difficulties is that when you're dealing with teen suicide prevention, there's some ugly news to deal with, some ugly statistics. I said, for example, did you know that there are suicide statistics for children as young as 5 years old? And when I said that, I could feel the man on my right-hand side of the table kind of shut down and withdraw from the table. And I thought, oh no, why did I have to say that now in front of him? I hope I didn't offend him. Bert's a dear, sweet man. I love this man. If you knew him, you'd love him too. He's 94 years old, I believe. And he's been very, very good to me. So not wanting to offend him, I kind of shifted and talked to the left side of the table and finished the thought. There's a very plausible explanation why those statistics exist. And so I explained that through and then quickly and then turned back to the center of the table. And when I did that, coming back in, I heard him say, Steve, you mentioned a minute ago that there are suicide statistics for children as young as 5. And I said, yes. And he said, that was him. That when he was 5 years old, he had tried to commit suicide. Now, whatever happened, I know that it ended well. I know it was a failed effort because he's 94 years old and he's sitting right here. So I went ahead and asked what happened. And he explained that growing up, big family, hardscrabble life in the 1920s in Louisiana, that he was in town one day with his mother, and they saw posters that said that a circus was coming to town. And there's nothing better for a 5-year-old kid than a circus, because it means clowns and cotton candy and exotic animals and adventure. And so he definitely wanted to go to the circus, and he let that be known. And his mother promised that when the time came, when that day came, it was going to be in a week or so, that somebody would take him to the circus that day. And he was looking forward to that. Problem is, when that day came, everybody was busy. A big family, but everybody was doing something else. My guess is they were probably making a living, and there wasn't anybody left over to take young Bert to the circus. And he was feeling left behind and ignored and rejected, and like nobody loved him. And he moped through the day. And then by the late afternoon, he's sitting on a swing hanging from a tree in the backyard, and he could see people through the kitchen window, people getting ready for dinner and sitting down the table, and no one came to him to invite him into the dinner. And he said, well, that's just it. They don't want me anymore. They're always telling me to get out of the way. They always say, get out the way. I'm always underfoot. They don't really love me. Nobody likes me. I don't belong here. And he realized that the conversation around the table recently about the suicide, and he said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to commit suicide. I'm going to kill myself. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. So he took his young fists here, fists of fury, and he's going to complete this job. And he doubles them up and starts getting himself. And when he comes to an end, he realizes he's still sitting there, and they're still sitting at the kitchen table. Nobody still had come out to get him. So he got off the swing and went inside and had dinner with everybody else. And all's well that ends well. You know, the reason that it ended well is that with the moment that he had that thought, he was sitting outside and he reached into his arsenal of solutions, and the only solution he found were his fists of fury. What if he had been inside the house at that time and he had a kitchen knife, steak knife? What if he'd been inside the house and had his father's straight razor? What if he'd been inside the house because he knew that in the nightstand by his parents' bed that his father kept a loaded pistol? Children don't understand the consequences of what they do. They just simply act. And not just 5-year-olds. It's the same thing with 10-year-olds and 7-year-olds and 50-year-olds. What if he'd found the pistol instead of his young fist? So that's how you can end up with children be as young as 5 taking an action without an awareness of the consequence. And that's one of the reasons that you wind up with statistics as young as 5. But like I say, have a look at the website across the bottom here. There's an email link on every page. Take a look around and let us know what you think.